All right, well, we're going to start, so I'll talk to you a little bit later. Okay.
Ask him, maybe.
Joe.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, I'll
I don't know. Where's Terry? He's coming.
You talk.
Thank you.
So we can talk about it.
Okay.
And Marty will continue those Saddle Creek jobs in 2 weeks.
I'd like to call the March 20th City Council meeting to order. The Honorable Mayor Bob Odekirk presiding. Giving the invocation this evening is Father Chris Groh of St. Mary's Magdalene Church, and after which he will lead us in the pledge.
Let us pray. Almighty God, you generously bestow your many gifts in abundance, and we are most grateful for all that you do for us and for the many favors you grant. We gather together in your name this day. Come and enlighten us so that everything that is done may be done with your inspiration and wisdom. God of wisdom and justice, through you all authority is administered, laws are enacted, and judgments are decreed. Guide and support our mayor, the members of our city council, our city manager, and city staff. Give them the strength to know your will so that all that they do may be pleasing to you. May their work be conducted with righteousness, and may they always promote what is for the good and welfare of all the citizens of Joliet. We likewise commend to your care all of the residents of our city, that they too may be blessed and sanctified. Together may we work for the betterment of our city and enjoy the blessings promised to those who remain faithful to you. For we pray to you, who are our Lord and God, now and forever. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thanks, Father.
Thanks, Father.
Hey, brother.
We'll begin with roll call. Mayor Odekirk.
Here. Yes.
Councilman Dickinson.
Here.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Here.
Councilman Girl.
Here.
Councilman Hug.
Here.
Councilman Morris. We'll be running a few minutes late, he said. Councilman Mudrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Here.
Councilman Turk.
Here.
The presenters for the presentation in the Transformation Center, I do not believe have arrived yet for the evening, so we'll move on to under Mayor Proclamation. The first proclamation is honoring Bobby Vocaloo and Ben Wilkos.
Come on up, guys. Come on, there. Oh.
Kind of something about the first sentence.
Okay. You can stand. You're standing on the side. Council, we have one of the most handsome mayors. It's going to cost you, Mayor.
Got me worried there, Larry. I don't know.
Always a motive. Look, what I opened by saying is that, I heard what you guys did, and I said to myself right away, we got to bring him forward for several reasons. I contacted the mayor, got the text to prove it, and he was on board. He's like, oh yeah, bring these young men, forward. We brought you here to thank you, to honor you for what you did. But also, I felt like, let's show just how tremendous of a group of youth we have in our communities. We really do. There's so many people sometimes, are cynical and disparaging, right, Coach? And we have some pretty smart, some pretty talented, some pretty compassionate, some pretty committed young adults. And I will tell you, you guys and people like you are the leaders of the future for us. So right now, here publicly, I apologize for the condition of the world that my generation is handing to you. And I know that you're going to fix it. So with that said, no, we're very proud. And I would point out, these two young men live just outside the Joliet boundary in the village of Plainfield. I knew that because when I looked you guys up, you had 5 numbers in your address instead of 4. There's the secret. And this is such an example of not just compassion, and caring about others more than yourself is an example that adults, particularly elected officials in today's world, should take to heart about people from different communities coming together because it's the right thing to do. So with that said, I'm going to read the proclamation. Gotta get my glasses on, guys. Don't worry, you're headed there too someday. You got a few decades. The proclamation reads as follows. Whereas on March 11th, 2018, a fire broke out in a home located in the Stone Creek subdivision. Whereas, as luck would have it, Bobby Bokaloo and Ben Wheelgoes were walking through the neighborhood and selling items to raise money for the Plainfield Central High School baseball team when they heard a smoke alarm going off. Without hesitation, both Bobby and Ben demonstrated civic responsibility by proceeding to the back of the home where they noticed black smoke and flames. With quick action, Ben called 911 while Bobby entered a sunroom to rescue the family's pet dog. Fortunately, no one was injured in the fire, and Bobby and Ben were able to save the family's dog. Now, therefore, I, Robert Odekirk, Mayor of the City of Joliet, on behalf of the Joliet City Council, would like to recognize the courageous actions of Bobby Bokaloo and Ben Wheelgoes and congratulate them on a job well done. And there was quite a bit of damage, but the house was saved for the family, who luckily, as you guys determined, was not home at the time. They were out, I think, a couple hours away. You saved the puppy when you hear it barking, and you went in there, disregarding whatever may or may not happen to you by going in there. And again, I'm very proud of you guys. And which level of the team are you on for baseball? Varsity, what do you play?
Varsity, left field.
Left field? So, guys, let's do them the honor. Their season is starting, right, Coach? I will teach you. Everybody does this in Plainfield. My daughter goes to Plainfield. My son did too. You make a Wildcat hand and you go Wildcats. Come on, do it for them.
Go Wildcats.
Go Wildcats.
With that said, there's one other item I wanted to give you. This is a check from me for $200 because you guys were against what some people say that the young people are entitled. No, you guys were out there working to sell, to pay for your sport, to pay for your hobby, and you took time away from that doing the right thing. So there's a $200 check made out to the Plainfield Central Baseball fundraiser. And if there's any credit given, I know how it worked with competitive cheer with my daughter. They get $100 a piece credit on it. All right, again, thank you guys.
Mayor. Mayor, if I may, excuse me, Councilman, but thank you for your support for them. I would also like to say thank you so much for your heroic efforts, because in today's world, you guys get a bad rap, the young people of America, but there's a lot of good ones out there like yourselves. And thank you so much for going above and beyond what you had to do. You could have just kept on walking and said, oh, the dog's barking, I smell smoke, and go home, but you didn't. You took the responsibility, and that's what people need to know with all the bad that's going on right now. They need to know about the good. So I believe our future will be in very good hands with guys like you. And I do have the article in case you don't. I only have one copy, but you're welcome to have it and make a copy of it. Thank you.
And I'll tell you this much, you guys shied away from the microphone, Coach. Did you want to say a couple of kind words about them? You know them well, don't you?
Oh,
Definitely. Go ahead.
Just want to say thank you. Coach Hanley and I are blessed each and every day to be around wonderful individuals, not only in the baseball program, but walk in our halls in school and in the classroom. So thank you. Everything you said is true about all the negative things that you hear about in the press. But if you walk the high schools each and every day, you'll see that many, many kids are doing what it takes to make a difference in this world. So thank you very much. We appreciate it, and any support is appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can we get a picture?
Don't move to my district. You speak better than me.
Excuse me, Councilman, picture for our Facebook page.
congrats, guys.
Congrats, boys. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, Coach. Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks for coming down, Coach. Yeah, good luck this year. Yeah.
Good job.
Good luck this season.
Very proud.
Thank you. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, brother. Good luck this season.
Next, we have a proclamation proclaiming March 29th as Vietnam Veterans Day.
I did not. Why? Did you bring yours? Yeah, you dropped the ball, so let's just get this over with. Okay, we have a proclamation here, and Wayne Horn is here on behalf of the veterans, Vietnam veterans, to accept it.
I represent all 7 million.
All 7 million of them, and I also do as well, because my husband's a Vietnam vet also, Marines. Woo-ha. Anyway, whereas on March 29th, 2018 will mark the first anniversary of the National Vietnam War, and the day is part of the 50th anniversary commemoration of the Vietnam War. 9 million Americans served on active duty in the U.S. Armed Forces during the period of the Vietnam War, and approximately 7 million are living today. This is done to thank and honor veterans of the Vietnam War, including personnel who were held as prisoners of war or listed as missing in action for their service and sacrifice on behalf of the United States, and to thank and honor the families of these veterans. The anniversary will also pay tribute to the contributions made on the home front by the people of the United States during the war. Vietnam Veterans Day affords us the opportunity to recall with pride and gratitude the selfless military service, patriotism, battle courage, and personal sacrifice of these servicemen and women who answer their country's call to duty to fight for another nation's peace and democracy. Now, therefore, I, Robert Oda Kirk, Mayor of the City of Joliet, Illinois, on behalf of the Joliet City Council, proclaims March 29th, 2018 as Vietnam Veterans Day in Illinois, and invites all citizens, both in public ceremonies and in private thoughts and prayers, to gratefully acknowledge our Vietnam veterans. And it is signed by Robert Oda Kirk, Mayor, but I just want to add a few things here. The younger generation today don't even know about the Vietnam War, what happened to them, and it was not a popular war. And what the kids need to know these days is when the veterans came home, there was no welcome home ceremony. They were spit on, they were called baby killers, and they were just doing their job. And I get very emotional about this, I'm sorry. But from now on, we are going to honor the Vietnam veterans. And I also would like to add, it's the 10th anniversary of Honor Flight Chicago, and now they are taking not only the Korean War veterans, but the Vietnam veterans. So if anyone at home wants to honor your vet, I know they may not want to go, but believe me, it's different now. So please go to honorflightchicago.com, and you can download your application. And it's an all-expense paid trip to Washington, D.C. for the day. And it's a marvelous thing. You'll be very surprised and very happy because you will not be called pig, baby killer. You will be thanked for everything that you did during that war. So now I'm going to turn it over to another Vietnam veteran, Wayne Horn.
Thank you very much. On behalf of all Vietnam veterans, Vietnam War veterans, I appreciate the proclamation. And I've got a couple of comments that just to add to this. One of them is just a clarification on terminology. The Vietnam War period is what this is about. The phrase Vietnam War period is used to define the commemoration's inclusive duties, or dates, I'm sorry, as our nation recognizes all who served on active duty in the U.S. Armed Forces at any time during the period of November 1st, 1955 to May 15th, 1975, regardless of duty location, and their families. No distinction is made between veterans who served in country in theater or who were stationed elsewhere during the Vietnam War period. So this is for all of us who served during that period of time. And some of us were luckier than others, depending on where you served. My experience was in combat in 1968, which was a great year to be there. This is the 50th anniversary of that year. And just as you mentioned our youth, there is a teacher's toolkit that's available for, you can let teachers know, and you teachers who are listening, there is information available at the commemorative website. If anybody wants to contact me, get that information, I can certainly help them get it. It's just a quick read on what that's about. The History and Legacy Branch is a national organization. The goal is to provide historically accurate materials and interactive experiences that will help teachers and students better understand and appreciate the service of our Vietnam veterans and the history of the U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War. If you notice, that was a 20-year span. Most of us think of the Vietnam era as a 10-year span, but we get involved in everything around the world all the time, and that was no different. So there is information available for teachers. And one last an announcement that there is going to be a ceremony, Vietnam War 50th anniversary wreath laying ceremony at Abraham Lincoln National Cemetery on the Thursday, March 29th, which is National Vietnam Veterans Day. And it's a special tribute to Vietnam veterans. The keynote speaker is a recipient of the Medal of Honor in action in Binh Dinh province in Vietnam on December 15th, 1967. So if you're able to make it out to that, it would be appreciated. And I thank all Vietnam vets and all veterans, period, for their service. It's appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Mayor Odekirk appointments. None this evening. Approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written with the following change? Remove Council Memo 164-18. It's purchased Motorola digital portable radios, microphones, and ancillary radio equipment for the fire department.
Motion to approve.
Second?
In motion and seconded to approve the agenda as written with the removal of Council Memo 164-18. Councilman Dickinson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Next is citizens to be heard on agenda items. Is there anyone present that would like to speak on an agenda item this evening? Seeing none. Mayor Pro Tem is next. Is there a motion to appoint Councilman Hug to serve as Mayor Pro Tem for the term of April 1st through June 30th, 2018?
So moved.
Second.
I'll get it over.
Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is council committee reports. First is Economic Development Committee report.
The Economic Development Committee met here on the second floor of City Hall on March 15th, 2018. In attendance was myself, Councilman Morris, and Councilman Mudrin, as well as Steve Jones and several other staff members. 3 of the 5 items on there, and all of the items are on the agenda tonight. 3 of the 5 items were housekeeping. We discussed it last night. The A, B, and C agreements for tax abatements for the Saddle Creek Logistics Services, for the Project Osprey, which is now Mars, and for the Cadence Premier Logistics Project was previously approved formally by the council in 2015. We've just become more formal on requiring that everything's filed, all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed, and it has a lot to do with Jim Gadati, taking care of things on the finance end and making sure we do things completely professional. So there's nothing to report there other than the final step, if you will, formal step. There was no new approvals. Then we had the First Amendment of the Mickey Oil Agreement approval, which is for Mickey's Oil, which is right on the border of Crest Hill and Joliet, one of the only remaining gas station that far north in Joliet, along the border or near the border, out of 15 that used to be there. They've fought and they've survived, and they've been with us over 60 years, I think. And essentially what they did is they traded a reduction to be competitive on the border with improvements that are required. Not only would it look good for the city, but are required for franchise agreements by BP, and they're expensive. I know a little bit about franchising, it's expensive, no matter what you're franchising, what industry you're in. And so, you know, we were able to lower the tax back in 2014, but just to let people know, in exchange for Mickey saying they're gonna charge 1% more for everything else that's sold there, outside of the gas. So there was a little bit of mitigation, but it was really important at the time we said it, and I'll say it again tonight, we're showing that we're not just going after new business with incentives, because we are, and we will, and that's our obligation, but we still care about the older existing businesses and realizing that as things change, they need help. So it came out of committee with 100% enthusiastic endorsement. So I'm hoping that we'll see the same here with council. And then we went over the agreement for economic incentive to waive fees for the Joliet Bulk Barges and Rail LLC. Again, all the items were unanimously approved. That is that, Steve, is that a $21 million proposed project on the expansion?
I believe it was 21 million.
21 million.
Change.
It has to do with the pipeline, right, as part of it?
There's pipeline, there's rail, there's processing equipment. It's basically open a new market and much more flexibility with that site to handle a variety of components, utilizing trucking, rail, as well as barge.
And this includes, was it 60 or 600 acres? How many acres was it that we're also bringing into the city as part of this project?
The original parcel that was outside the city is 9 acres.
9 acres,
So
I'm
9
sorry.
acres.
And then, of course, the other part was already incorporated. So this $21 million improvement, we're happy to hear, translates into more value for the property itself, which translates into taxes for us.
Yeah, the city portion of the estimated property taxes will be somewhere in the vicinity of $118,000 per year.
So, again, if there's any questions or if I left anything out, Pat or Terry, again, we went over it. What was the total? I can bring it up, but you can answer it quicker, Steve. What was the incentive on a yearly basis? Do you remember?
It was the fees.
Just the fees, right?
Yeah,
we're keeping all the taxes, if I
Right.
remember. So just to make that clear, we're waiving the fees, but keeping the taxes, which you said the new taxes would amount to as much as $119,000.
About $118,000 per year.
So that's good news, folks. That was the long and the short of our Economic Development Committee meeting, and that's all I have for you, Mayor.
Finance Committee report.
Your Honor, the Finance Committee comprised of Councilman Girl and Councilman Mudrin met this afternoon at 5:30 to review the various items on our agenda. The first thing that we dealt with was the retail purchase of motor fuel for the City of Joliet Code of Ordinances. The state of Illinois last year, mid-year, adopted a resolution that said you could use compressed natural gas as a motor fuel and that you could tax it just like you could gasoline. So back in 1982, there was a 1 cent a gallon gas tax that was put on all gas sold in the City of Joliet. Hasn't been touched and still remains at 1 cent today. So the Finance Committee is recommending that we put the 1 cent gas tax, take advantage of the compressed natural gas, propane, and things like that, and that it would be brought to us at the next meeting. We also reviewed the monthly finance report, personnel summary, travel expense report, invoices paid, and found them all to be in order and recommend their approval.
Public Service Committee report.
The Public Service Committee met this afternoon at 4 p.m. right here on the second floor of City Hall. There was a short meeting. There was just several items that were standard contract lets that we reviewed, as well as a change order. The one item that I would bring everybody's attention to was the proposed 2018 roadway resurfacing project. This is a big one this year. I think, Jim, this is the biggest one I've seen in the few years I've been here. There's almost 60 roads that are going to get that tender one in care this summer. And once we bid it, after we approve the list, we've had very good luck, knock on wood, over the last number of years where we come in 10, 15, sometimes 20% or more under bid And then Jim and his team comes back in August and rebids based on the money. Part of why we were able to add even more roads this year is we had a little over 300,000 left from last year. And we didn't have the opportunity to do a phase 2, so phase 2 became part of phase 1 2018. But there's a lot of roads, and they are distributed all over the city. They've really done a great job of making sure the entire city is addressed, and they do a good job of triaging the streets and those that really need the repair. Other than that, that's what we had on. Is there anything you wanted to add to it, Jim?
No, just like you said, last year we did about $1.5 million. This year we had less commitments with our motor fuel tax. We were able to increase it to $2.5 million, or about $2.6 million, plus the extra $300,000 we saved from last year's contract with the final payments and final change orders, which was a deduction. So it's about a $2.9 million program. And again, like you said, if we get good prices, we'll do a separate additional one, like in early August, additional resurfacing contract.
Thank you, and I think all of us up here, right up to the mayor, that's one of the biggest concerns you get from people, right? When is my street going to be? They really, really brought on a big project this year. So all the items on the Public Service Committee were reviewed. We did vote unanimously on all of them to move them forward with recommendation for full approval, and that's all I have for you, Mayor.
I show no other reports. Under consent agenda, approval of the minutes. It's recommended the minutes of the pre-council meeting held on March 5th and the minutes of the council meeting held on March 6th, 2018 stand approved as recorded. Invoices paid report. It's recommended this report be received and placed on file. Council Memo 142-18, position vacancies. It's recommended the city manager be authorized to fill 1 communication technical support supervisor in the police department and any subsequent vacancies which may occur. And Council Memo 143-18, 2018 deteriorated roadway resurfacing program. It's recommended this program be approved. Is there a motion to approve said consent agenda items?
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hugg.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under licenses and permit applications, Council Memo 145-18, approval to hold the carnival May 3rd through May 6th, 2018, Louis Joliet Mall Spring Carnival. It's recommended North American Midway Entertainment, Astro Amusement be issued a carnival permit.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hugg.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
No?
Councilman Dickinson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Motion carried 7-1. Under
Well, it's good to have you on the team for 1 year, Mike.
Thank you.
Under public hearings, Council Memo 147-18, annexation of 1311 New Lenox Road, classification to R1 zoning and approval of an annexation agreement. It's recommended Council Memo 147-18 be withdrawn.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to withdraw Council Memo 147-18. Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hugg.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 148-18. It's an annexation of 4 parcels located near the southeast corner of Brandon Road and Zurich Road. Classification to I-2 zoning and approval of a second amendment to the Vulcan annexation agreement. It's recommended this council memo be tabled to the April 3rd council meeting.
Motion to table.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to table Council Memo 148-18 to April 3rd, 2018. Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hugg.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under ordinances and resolutions, Council Memo 150-18, ordinances for Hawk Motor Park subdivision. This includes an ordinance approving the reclassification of .91 acres located near the northwest corner of Illinois Route 59 and Caton Farm Road from R1 Single Family Residential Zoning to B3 General Business Zoning. An ordinance approving a preliminary plat of Hawk Motor Park subdivision, an ordinance approving a final plat of Hawk Motor Park subdivision, Unit 1, and an ordinance approving a recording plat of Hawk Motor Park subdivision, Unit 1. It's recommended said ordinances be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin. Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 151-18, an ordinance approving a special use permit to allow 2 new auto dealerships for the property located at the northwest corner of Illinois Route 59 and Caton Farm Road. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quilman.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 152-18, an ordinance amending Chapter 28, Article 16, Economic Development and Business Retention Program for new and used car dealers of the City of Joliet Code of Ordinances, amending and updating the provisions for auto dealerships. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Dickinson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin. Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quilman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 153-18, an ordinance adopting updated building codes of the City of Joliet Code of Ordinances. This includes International Building Code for 2015, International Residential Code 2015, National Electrical Code 2014, International Fire Prevention Code 2015, International Mechanical Code 2015, International Fuel Gas Code 2015, International Energy Conservation Code 2015, and penalty provisions for the Illinois Plumbing Code. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 154-18 is an ordinance declaring certain properties public nuisances. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillen.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under resolutions, Council Memo 156-18, a resolution requesting authorization to implement a tobacco enforcement program. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 157-18, a resolution approving a tax abatement agreement with Saddle Creek Logistics Services. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 158-18, resolution approving a tax abatement agreement with Project Osprey, AKA Mars. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin.
I apologize. I thought there was I mentioned to Marty that we had to continue this matter.
This one?
Yeah, because those three, those special ones, because there was still an issue that we had not resolved. On Osprey and Premier and Saddle Creek, Cadence and Osprey.
Do we need another vote on the
Saddle Creek was
Well,
approved.
we're right in the middle of a vote.
Saddle Creek was approved.
Right, but we just approved Saddle Creek.
Yeah, excuse me, I was out of the office there.
Well, we are right in the middle of the vote of 158-18.
It was motion and seconded to approve Council Memo 158-18.
Is staff gonna request to table this, or you want us to move forward?
I defer to the corporate counsel who's been working with the attorney for the applicants on these three resolutions.
I'm not gonna change my opinion on them. I think Mr. Hanson disagrees, but
So the recommendation is we move forward?
let's move forward the way that they're written.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been motioned and seconded to approve Council Memo 158-18, which is a resolution approving a tax abatement agreement with Project Osprey. Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 159-18 is a resolution approving a tax abatement agreement with Cadence Premier Logistics. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
We don't have to wait.
Same recommendation, Marty?
Same.
Do you want to table that one or no?
My recommendation is not to table, and Steve, I think you're, you agree?
Yeah, I concur.
Move to approve.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve Council Memo 159-18, which is a resolution approving a tax abatement agreement with Cadence Premier Logistics. Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 160-18, a resolution authorizing execution of a first amended agreement to the Economic Development Agreement with Mickey Oil Company of Liquor Express. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Motion seconded to approve. Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 161-18 is a resolution approving an incentive agreement with Joliet Bulk Barge and Rail LLC. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Dickinson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 162-18, a resolution authorizing execution of an economic incentive agreement with West Jeff Auto Sales LLC and Joe Hawk LLC. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
Just 1 second.
Yeah, we'd like to make a motion to table this for 2 weeks, because I think we, Mr. Hales, we still have an issue that's arisen here that we need to work out.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Staff, do you want us to table this?
We recommend the original version. Mr. Hanson has proposed some last minute amendments, but we're not in a position to recommend that at this time. So we would concur and like the additional time to review those amendments and bring it back in 2 weeks.
Would you be willing to withdraw, Mike?
I made a motion to table.
I made a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll second them.
It's been motioned and seconded to table Council Memo 162-18, which is a resolution authorizing execution of an economic incentive agreement with West Jeff Auto Sales LLC and Joe Hawk LLC to the April 3rd, 2018 council meeting. Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson?
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carried. Under bids and contracts, award of contracts, Council Memo 164-18 was removed from the agenda. Council Memo 165-18, approved Geographic Information Systems Professional Services, GIS Munis Integration Support. Council Memo 166-18, approved Geographic Information Systems Professional Services, Contract GIS Administration. Council Memo 167-18, purchase vehicles for the Public Utilities Department. Council Memo 168-18, purchase a Ford F-450 for the Public Utilities Department. Council Memo 169-18, award the 2018 Utilities Restoration Program Phase 1 contract. And Council Memo 170-18, award a contract for the demolition of 121 North Chicago Street. It's recommended Council Memos 165-18 through 170-18 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
In motion seconded to approve, Councilman Girl. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Amendments, change orders, and payments. Council Memo 172-18, approved. Change order number 10 for Knight Inc. Professional Architectural and Engineering Services Contract for the Joliet Multimodal Regional Transportation Center. It's recommended Council Memo 172-18 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Been motion seconded to approve. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is the city manager's report.
Mayor, council, and residents of the city of Joliet, I think tonight it's very appropriate that we recognize a director, James Egan, director of the Public Utilities Department, who will be retiring effective April 1st, 2018. Mr. Egan started with the city of Joliet, as I understand it, a civil engineer one back in April 20th, 1992. In 95, he was promoted to civil engineer 2. 3 years later, in 1998, he was promoted to utilities administrator. And then in November 2006, upon the separation or the division of the public works into a public works department and a public utilities department, Mr. Egan was named the director of public utilities. He's retiring with 25 years and 11 months of service to the city of Joliet. He will be sorely missed during that time. He was not only built up a department with many, many employees that have given years and years of dedicated service, as he has also done, but the city's public utility department, whether it's culinary water, sanitary sewer, or involvement with stormwater and many other issues, has been invaluable to our community and the surrounding municipalities that have been relying on city's culinary water that we provided and sold to them. So tonight, I'd just like to recognize Jim Egan and thank him for his 25 years, nearly 26 years of dedicated service to the city of Joliet. And if you can join me in a round of applause to Jim and his. And I think if someone could also, there's an upcoming retirement celebration, and I'm not sure the exact day. Jim, maybe you can help us. We want to make sure that we can, is that April 4th? Or let's see.
Yes, that's correct. It's April 4th.
Time and place.
Actually, I don't know the time, but.
All right, we'll get that out there. Please.
5 to 8.
We'll get that out so that all the council and other interested individuals in the city can come and wish him well in his retirement years. So, thank you. I have nothing else at this time, Mayor.
If I can just add, it's been an honor to serve Joliet. I've really enjoyed helping people of this community. That's really what it's all about. Thank you.
Where, can I just, you moved. I remember seeing you over. Mayor and council, I thought Mr. Mackley had left earlier, but he did not. He's sitting over there with his wife, Karen. And if I could, I'd also like to recognize that Mr. Mackley will also be retiring But he's even lasted longer than Mr. Egan, 32 years and 11 months. We'll have to find out how you do that. Almost 33 years in one city. Mr. Mackley was hired back on April 22nd, 1985 as a building safety inspector. Promoted June 3rd, 2003 to the building services director. I had the pleasure one day and recently to be out there on the road with Mr. Mackley, as well as Kendall Jackson, his boss and community development director. And it was just very insightful and informative to drive around the city and to hear Mr. Mackley talk about his involvement with so much of the tremendous growth in this community, especially in the industrial, commercial area, and to hear him talk about with pride that during his career, he's had the experience few building officials ever get to deal with some of these huge projects, $1 million warehouse, logistics centers, multimodal centers. And in fact, his involvement and knowledge of the codes has been invaluable, because many times what we've seen is many of these facilities were coming up with such cutting edge technology and new and innovative ways to not only build, but to institute creative, innovative ways that sometimes they were, even the codes at that time weren't updated enough to kind of address that. I just want to acknowledge this. So much of the growth of this community has had not only his particular stamp, but his signature as well on many, many building permits. So we're indebted to Mr. Mackley for so much of his work in the growth and the significant industrial and commercial growth of this community. So with that, if you please join me in thanking Mr. Mackley for nearly 33 years of dedicated service to the city of Joliet, and for his wife, Karen, for sharing him with us as well. Thank you.
If I might add, most of his years here, probably the first 25 or 26, all that was done on paper before we finally got a good computer system, right? That's amazing. And since he's in the building department, if his cake for the retirement party is in the shape of a hammer, Jim, is yours going to be in the shape of a toilet?
Never mind. You are.
Come on, Jim. Neither one of you could leave here without some good ribbon, right? You wouldn't feel loved.
Mike remembers back his first day.
No, Dave's got about almost 2 years on me. So I've got 31. But I just want to thank Dave and thank Jim for all the help that they've given me as a council person. There's many times I've asked them to respond to constituents that had called me. I knew that when I called them, they would follow through. The people were treated with respect, and they tried to resolve the problem, which many times was difficult to do, but and sometimes it wasn't possible to solve their problem, but the people understood why they couldn't, and they gave them the honest answer. So I appreciate both what you guys have done, not only for the city, but me personally, and wish you the best of luck in your retirement.
I would just like to echo those comments. Both of you always at my beck and call when I'd call you and ask a question, and you'd respond to the people that needed your answers, and I appreciate it, and I know that they did too. And enjoy your retirement, because I'll tell you, it's something like you never thought you would really love. You'll be busier than you are now, trust me.
Since it appears we're going down the line, I'd just like to wish a lot of luck to Patricia, Egan, and Karen with your newfound housemates. Hope you have a lot of work for them to do.
They become good cooks, actually.
Yeah,
I can't say enough about both of these gentlemen, Jim and especially Dave. Good luck. Wish you well. I'm still gonna be calling both of you when my sewer bags up, Jim and Dave. You know, you my go-to guy for any household problems. So again, congratulations and thanks. As everyone said, you really been right there to answer the calls for the residents of Joliet. So we're gonna miss you. I don't know how we're gonna replace you guys, but I'm sure Mr. Hale he'll figure something out. I guess maybe I have to get 2 people to replace both of y'all. I don't know. But again, congratulations and good luck.
Congratulations, gentlemen. When I first came on, biggest issue in District 1 back in 2011 was flooding. Remember, Jim? We spent quite a bit of time out there. We did solve most of it. And foreclosures, remember? You and I spent quite a bit of time talking about that. We had massive foreclosures. So I spent a lot of time with these 2 guys when I was a rookie. And they did a good job, a great job, and enjoy your retirement. And she expects dinner when she gets off work now. Come on.
Yeah, I just want to thank both Jim and Dave for their service to the city. Certainly as a councilman, both you guys have helped me in many, many ways. And again, just kind of enjoy your retirement and good luck in the future. And hopefully we'll see you around soon. So thanks a lot, guys.
Jim and Dave, thank you guys for your service to this city and all that you have brought to the table. And thank you for helping me. I had the opportunity to ride out with Jim one day, and I tell you, that was an experience. I saw every part of this city underneath it and everywhere. But Dave, thank you as much. I know the new grill is about ready to get work now. You can put some work on it. Enjoy your retirement. God bless.
Yeah, I'd just like to say congratulations to both of you for everything that you've done for the city of Joliet. And as on a personal level, I mean, you guys helped me through my first year. I mean, every time I called you, you were there. And I can't thank you enough. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
It'll be here in April.
Yeah, I would agree. As a new mayor, I definitely rely on both of you. It's great to have veteran staff who have the answers to the questions. So thank you for all your years of hard work and dedication. We have a number of other employees leaving too who should be recognized. Liz Klein, John Dillon, Kevin Garr, Val Hall, Linda Johnson, Sean Murphy, Sharon Offerman, Mildred Rowe, Zelda Scott, Andrea Sinchek. It says Margaret Thomas. I didn't know who that was.
Peggy.
And Alfred Weinhofer. So we had a lot of great city employees that are leaving. So thank you, each and every one for your service.
Next is new business, not for final action or recommendation.
No.
Nope.
Next is public comments. I believe Heather Mills is here from the Slammers to say a few words.
Heather Mills, General Manager of the Joliet Slammers. So in an effort to improve our communication with the city, I just wanted to provide you with a quick update with some of the events we have scheduled this summer. So I'd like to pass out a calendar of events and then I can talk about some of the things we have.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming today.
Thank you. Thank you, Heather.
All right, so this is a month-by-month calendar of some of the events that we are having. So just a couple of things that I wanted to point out as you kind of flip through that. You will see a weekend in June and a weekend in August where we were able to move some of our events away from those dates should the city choose to hold an event. So it's that first weekend in June and the third or fourth weekend of August there. Also, you'll see a couple of things. If you notice, every Monday in June and July, there's a morning event. So there's going to be more details on that in the very near future. But this event will be open to the public. Will be free every Monday morning. It's a fitness event. So watch for some more details there. I can't share them at this moment, but we're pretty excited about it. Also in June, we are currently working with JJC to have an event for the Boys and Girls Club, where some of the JJC athletes will come out. The Boys and Girls Club members will come out, and hopefully some of our players can get involved as well. And then in addition to the Guns and Hoses game, which has become an annual tradition, we're hoping to hold even more charitable softball events that are a lot of fun. Again, can't give too many details yet at this point, but we've got some things in the works that we're really excited about. And of course, we continue to work on planning and securing some new and diverse events. We do have several ideas and concepts in various stages of planning, so hopefully I'll have some more updates for you in the future of some exciting events we hope to have moving forward. But you will see on the calendar, we do have events scheduled through October. Almost every day has something, which we're really excited about. And like I said, we'll continue to try and fill those other dates as well.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak under public comments? This is mayor and council comments.
Your Honor, I just want to say congratulations to Alzada's, the new restaurant that has had a grand opening on yesterday on Woodruff Road. Sandwiches was great, so congrats to them, and hope that they're prosperous there. There's business open in a long time.
Nice,
there.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A couple of things. First of all, I'd like to announce to the public that on April 11th, Thursday, IDOT's going to hold another meeting about the I-80 and the I-55 corridor, and that's going to be at the Joliet Junior College, Building U 4 to 7. And again, you can go to the IDOT website and they will have that on there if you missed this first meeting that they had about a month ago. Also, the Miracle League of Joliet is celebrating their 10th year, and if you have a child with a disability, please sign them up for miracleleagueofjoliet.com so that they can play baseball on a safe field. It's a lot of fun. They have buddies there, and when you watch these kids play, it's just amazing. It touches your heart. So registration ends April 11th, so get those kids registered so they can have some baseball fun for 6 weeks, and then it starts up again in the fall. Also, I would like to just say, and the mayor mentioned her, but Peggy Thomas, who's been the secretary or executive assistant of the city manager's office for many, many years. None of us sitting up here, and I'm going to speak for all of us, could do what we do without Peggy there to keep us on point and on track. And always available and always good and pleasant. And she will be sorely missed, as well as Val Hall, who has helped us in HR with some of our issues with insurance issues and human resource problems, personnel issues. But both of those ladies, and one more that I've had close contact with, I have to say, Sharon from the chief's office. Sharon's been there for a very, very long time, and she worked with my husband, and she was all the event planner for all of the award ceremonies for the police, and she will also be missed. They're all going to be missed. I mean, they've been here a long time, and it's a new day. There's going to be new people in town, and hopefully they're going to be tough shoes to fill, including everybody that was on the mayor's list. And then I have one more thing. This is some good news. It's called LATA. Maybe you've seen the computers in the lobby. It stands for Local Administered Tax Applications. And I'm going to have Jim Gadati explain this and the shorter lines in the lobby. Because there are lots of complaints about people getting backed up in the front lobby. And between Krista and David Brainer and Jim, they've come up with this new thing.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the Finance Department and what we have done to improve customer service and what we plan to do in 2018. I'd like to call 2018 the year of customer service. My goal as the Director of Finance is to shorten our lines and to make the waits on the telephone calls a lot less. To start 2018, we, Krista and myself and Dave Brainer, we are the beta site for the state of Illinois for taxes, for food and beverage tax, hotel and motel tax, the tangible tax, and the gas and weight tax. That in prior years, that was a manual system. In other words, a person had to take a piece of paper, fill it out, mail it to the clerk's office. The clerk would then put it in the computer system, take that piece of paper, and put it into a file. All that has been changed. It's all been automated. Right now, our citizens can go online and they can pay those taxes. The form comes up, it's auto-filled out, the computations are automatically done, and it cuts the time. They don't have to come into the city anymore, and it's helped very much. In the future, it will help us drill down into data and be able to compare different years based on the food and beverage tax. And so we can look at it and see if different places doing well and try to track the economics of what's going on in our city and have a more predictive model. Other items that we have done is we have currently you can go online and pay your water bill. However, you have to know your account number. Many people don't know their account number. They know their address, they know, but they don't know their account number, so they call our department. And we are currently bidding that out. We will have available online so you can look up your bill either by address or by account number or by your bill. That will cut down a lot of people coming into our lines and waiting in line. We have that bid out right now. Mr. Brainer in the IT department is currently installing a new phone system. Currently, we have changed what is called the phone tree. And that just means when you call, what's going to be first, what's going to be second. Simply by changing that, we have cut our phone calls in the finance department in half. We hope to add tracking mechanism, so we will be able to track, find out when calls are coming. So I will be able to have some data when I will know when the phone calls are coming, so I can staff my department better, so we can address the issue of phone calls being backed up. One morning last December, I had 42 calls backed up. That's simply not good customer service, just by changing the phone tree. Now we're going to put in a new phone system where all phone calls will be recorded. So right now, we are not recording phone calls. So thank you, Council, for approving that new phone system. I will be able to have more data and better data. Currently, I have no data. I do not know when phone calls are coming in. I don't know how long people are on the phone or how long they've waited. All that data will be available to me so I can start staffing my people so they can address these issues. Hopefully, we will add that payments on our kiosk then. So a person who comes in and sees a line, they can jump on the kiosk and make their payment. I also have met with Mr. Brainer, and we are going to install cameras. Currently, we don't have any cameras in our front lobby, and in today's day and age, I think we need some cameras so we can see what's going on. So now, in 2018, we're going to add a system where I can see what a customer is doing, I can hear what they're doing on the phone, and I can have some data. The long lines, quite frankly, are not acceptable. A part of that was turnover in my department. I have 13 people in the front office. In November, December, I was down 7 positions. We have filled those positions. 2 of them are going to be filled in the next month or 2, but we have those filled with temps. So I think in the last month, you can see that there have not been any lines. My goal is to have the next person in line. So when I have 3 windows open, I don't want more than 3 people in the line, and that's our goal. I hope to reach these goals by the end of the year. Like I said, I think 2018 to the finance department is going to be a customer service year. I'm going to cut down the lines, I'm going to cut down the wait on the phones, and we're going to have more access online, a better lookup system. Currently, our lookup system is not very good. I mean, who knows their account number on their water bill? So we hope to add that. Those bids are going to be coming in the next month. We hope to have it up and running by third quarter.
Yeah, I'd like to say, Jim, thank you. That's good news. I'd like to thank you and staff. And David Hales, you know, we talked about this internally, and you really addressed this matter, so thank you. Looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Nothing around other than to echo Councilwoman Quillman's comments about the individuals she talked about retiring, and the list you read, there's a lot of experience going out the door, so wish them all luck.
I agree. A couple of things. Number one, last night, St. Francis had a community stakeholders open forum. I was there with Councilman Turk and Councilman Mudrin. Thank you, St. Francis. Saturday, All Nations Church of God in Christ invited me and Councilman Terry Morris for a celebration for Pastor Bearfield, who's a new pastor at that church. A wonderful celebration. I left after a couple hours. Councilman Morris, I know you didn't. But thank you, Bishop Sanders and the good folks down at All Nations Church. Thank you to Joliet Junior College for inviting me a couple weeks ago to give the State of the City address. I was able to give it to the Chamber of Commerce, which was a paid-for event, and then a free address at the state, for the State of the City at Joliet Junior College. Thank you to Joliet Junior College for that. And then finally, Will County Children's Advocacy Open House was this week. I really want to compliment our State's Attorney Jim Glasgow for his forward thinking. He's been a big proponent for the children's advocacy for some time. They have a new location now on Scott Street. And just to break that down in simple terms, these are for children who are the victims of crime, usually sexual crimes. It's a place where they can go and investigations can be done with doing as little harm as possible to the children, making them comfortable and not making them have to relive the horrible things that they've gone through. So again, I really want to compliment our State's Attorney for his fine work. And that's all I have for tonight.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.